Somewhere in the middle of those two, you have the method I usually use, which is a voltration, essentially a voltage titration. The graphs beside me will give a nice representation of how a voltration will work. So looking at the first sample, you can see I've run my sample at 250 volts. I've then taken this exact same sample and run it again at 300 volts, then 350, and so on and so forth, increasing the voltage by 50 volts every time I run the sample. Now, as I run this, what I'm looking for essentially is the difference between the negative and the positive, factoring in the spread of the negative. This is your stain index. And your stain index is going to tell you when you've optimally resolved your signal in that channel. On the stain index graph, you'll see that initially we start with a really low stain index. And this is just simply because we don't have enough voltage to optimally resolve this fluorochrome. So we don't have enough difference between the negative and the positive. As we increase the voltage, our stain index increases to a point because we've maximized then the difference in signal between the negative and the positive. And then you'll see a turning point where we start then to drop in stain index. And this is the point where our background spread is starting to decrease that resolution. It's also the point where we've lost our positives and they're too bright. So again, would not be an ideal voltage to be using.